Well, the creator of the Muppets, Jim Henson Productions, he designed the logos.
I didn't know
Gonzo
that.
is the newest hurricane hunter. It can fly at higher altitudes to check the systems that can steer those hurricanes.
Yeah, so there are two groups of hurricane hunters. The ones out of Keesler is the Air Force, and then NOAA, the NOAA Corps, are the ones that fly the jets. So Kermit, Gonzo.
I'm telling him like he doesn't know. Like I'm informing him of what
It's
this
really
is.
cool. I mean, I don't know. People have asked, would you ever fly into one? I don't know.
I would be afraid to.
I don't.
That's
I mean,
brave.
I don't care about flying. It's not a big deal to me, but any
Into
kind
a
of
hurricane.
bump, yeah, I just don't know.
Right.
I don't
Right.
know.
Well, luckily,
maybe
it's
if
boring
I'm
right
dragged
now.
in screaming,
It's
then
boring.
maybe I would do it.
It's boring right now.
It is
That's
boring
what we
right
want.
now, and the reason that they're not flying into Nigel is because Nigel is going to avoid land. So if there really isn't a threat to land, neither the Air Force nor NOAA will fly into the storms. It just doesn't really make a whole lot of sense if it doesn't look like it's really going to threaten anyone. And speaking of fairly boring weather, our forecasts continue to be fairly boring. With the heat, though, still during the day, our high temperatures are in the upper 80s, lower 90s. We're not talking record levels, and at least with the drier air, our mornings are able to get a little cooler, milder for some. We did drop to 69 degrees, though, at Kenner, lower 60s, Slidell and Hammond, and again, upper 50s at Bogalusa and Macomb. Current readings, this is our normal high for this time of year, 88 degrees. If this was the high for the day, it'd be a seasonal afternoon, but we were a few degrees warmer. At least with the drier air, though, it does feel a little bit more comfortable. Yes, not that fall-like feel, but as I posted online, it's baby steps after a record-setting hot and dry summer. Our dew point values as well, not going to get exceedingly high. It does look like over the next couple of days the dew points will be a little bit higher, so moisture levels will be a little higher, but not uncomfortably so. We're not talking about the tropical moisture that we dealt with this summer. And plenty of sunshine over the next several days as well. Current reading is 88. Humidity is only at 39%, so there is no heat index either. But do notice that our winds are now out of a south or southeasterly direction, so we will gradually see that humidity on the rise. Today's high 91. Yes, above normal, but records on these dates can still get into the mid and upper 90s. So we're not talking about record levels, which we were doing just about every day in August. We have started to see kind of a gradual transition toward fall, and hopefully soon we'll start seeing normal high, or afternoon highs, I should say, below the normal at around 88, but that doesn't look to be the case even as we head toward early October. A little storm complex across the plains is going to stay to our north. Our weather, as I said, fairly boring, although in September, and again, still very much the peak of hurricane season, that isn't a bad thing. Models are trying to pick up on maybe a stray shower or two during the day tomorrow. I think if we see anything, it'd be more of like a 10 to 20% chance right along the coastline. Then it does look like by Thursday, you can kind of see a little bit of a reinforcement of our northerly wind. That should help to lower the humidity a bit again. So overall, a very nice stretch of weather. Yes, it could be about 10 degrees cooler for my taste, but with the low humidity, no real rain chances, although we do need the rainfall. Not a bad stretch of weather. Taking a look at now Category 2 Hurricane Nigel, well-defined eye. Boy, that really started to organize during the overnight and daytime hours today. Thankfully, as I said, here is Bermuda, so this is going to remain well to the east and eventually taking a track up toward the North Atlantic. Anytime you see the forecast track, which includes Iceland, you know it's not coming anywhere near us, and it looks like it will by this weekend begin dissipating in the North Atlantic waters. Elsewhere, we've got that one area that we've been highlighting really since late last week. Low potential for any real tropical development. It could become kind of a quasi-subtropical system. And then the other one that we'll be watching kind of in a long term is a wave that is just now emerging off of Senegal and will likely develop once it gets past the Cabo Verde Islands. This system, a lot of uncertainty with it, but most of the model ensembles keep this in the open Atlantic. Here's that area that we'll be watching later this week and early this weekend. If it does form right off the coast of Georgia and the Carolinas, and almost just as quickly will get lifted northward, maybe clipping the Outer Banks before getting lifted into the North Atlantic. Also looks like some deep upper troughing in the North Atlantic will draw whatever this little feature becomes northward. This is going past almost now next Friday, and still the Gulf waters and adjacent waters are quiet. That's a trend we like to see. Let's keep it going right up to halfway through October, and then we should start getting real cold fronts, and that kind of puts an end to our season. 90 degrees our high tomorrow, really over the next several days. I did mention maybe a stray shower Wednesday into Thursday. Not a whole lot of rainfall at that, and looks like we're going to stay mostly dry, still on the hot side, even into early next week.